Last month, Tracee Ellis Ross shook up the internet by appearing on Michelle Obama's podcast, and she mentioned a few things about her life, her career, her aging, and also her relationships when it came to men. And some of the things that she said were very offensive to men in her age group.
And, as much as grief does surface for me around not having children and not having a partner, I still wouldn't want the wrong partner.
That's a great point for people to hear.
I'm not interested in that. You have to make my life better. It can't just be, I'm in a relationship to be in a relationship. So
no, in this case, Tracee Ellis Ross seems as if she's been victimized by the men in her relationships. Men are just too toxic and they are controlling and all of these things. And this is something that Tracee Ellis Ross has said historically about her life. Almost every year or so, she'll talk to some big magazine or go on to some podcast and talk about some regret or chagrin for not having a child or having a family. And then she's always asked this question. And every time we hear this sort of dynamic response that generates a visceral reaction amongst men across the country. But Tracee Ellis Ross is still on tour, talking about her relationships and throwing shots at men. Recently, she was at the New York Times event when the presenter asked her this question.
So you've talked a lot about the cultural narrative that women of our generation and earlier grew up with. You've said, we were sold this narrow story that husband plus child equals woman. Did that narrative harm you?
And then she responded in this tonality.
It limited my understanding of what was possible. It undermined my sense of worth and self and joy until I realized it was somebody else's idea. And I get caught in it still. It's a narrative that the volume has turned back up on again culturally. And I do not believe that my life is unworthy because I don't have children. I do not believe that my life is unworthy because I do not have a man or a partner.
Again, relationships do not define her because she understood that this is self-limiting behavior to put herself in the box and all of this. But she followed it up with a very interesting response.
But I do believe that I mother all over the place. I do believe that I do very valued things in the world and for people that I care about and love. I take out the garbage. I make my bed. I'm pretty kind to people. I do what is asked of me and what I ask of myself.
Now, in this case, she starts talking about all the good things that she believes that she does. She helps people. She makes her own bed. All of these interesting things. She listens to the people. She's basically trying to supplement the fact that she's not in a relationship with a man. She's a mother of a lot of different people. I mean, she's pretty much tooting her own horn. A lot of people in the audience feel it's okay because it's a-okay for a woman to never conform to the needs of a man. That is socially acceptable. But on the flip side, I was thinking, what if the elements were reversed? And it brought me to this video by a TikTok creator by the name of Mercurial Lover. And her video was aimed at men who don't want to work in their prime.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, not gonna yai. I do feel like a lot of men have become lazy. I'm not speaking on all men, but 30% out of 52 that is not working, 30%, that's more than half, literally stated that they're choosing not to look for work. There's nothing wrong with them. They're fully able-bodied, mind-wise, they're capable. They're choosing not to work. So although I take in all of those other problems, all of those other issues, for that 30% right there, what's your excuse?
Now, if you look at the headline of the video or the description, she says, how do you expect to be seen as a leader when you're choosing not to provide? Now, I find this to be very interesting. On one side of the coin, it is completely okay for women to be devoid of what men are asking them to do in a traditional relationship. But on the same token, if a man does not want to be a provider or does not want to spend his money traditionally taking care of women, this is a problem according to women. And it brings me back to an argument that I had with a young lady many years back. And she told me something that I still feel that is true. She said a lot of the guys who are complaining about the women that they can't get, they just don't have what it takes. And I said, well, what do you mean when you say that? She said, well, if you're a man and you're not getting attractive enough women, you're not getting the women that you want around you, there's nobody's fault but yours, okay? And so what happens is any man that, I see that's talking about avoiding marriage or avoiding dating or avoiding relationships, and this is like around the time of like the MGTOW guys and men going their own way. She was like, these guys are just uncompetitive losers. And that's how women typically see these guys, right? Men who are really competitive are going to be what women need and what women want. And I said, you know what, that is a fair point, all right? And on the flip side, when I hear women like Tracee Ellis Ross try to devalue traditionally what a woman's role is in this society to a man, while at the same time we have women, and even Tracee Ellis Ross would believe that men owe women something, I'm pretty sure of that. I feel that certain women, such as Tracee Ellis Ross, are exactly what my friend considered men to be a few years ago, which is, don't want to use the word loser to be so harsh, but let's just say uncompetitive. Now, if you are really okay about not being married and being in your 50s and all of that, why is it every time that you go on to somebody's podcast, this is a selling point? It's almost like Tia Mowry. If you look at Tia Mowry, nobody really even cares about Tia Mowry anymore as a creator. Tia Mowry's biggest story that she has to offer the public is that she is now a single divorced mom and trying to get her life together after Corey Hardrick. This is her biggest telling story, and one of the reasons why she doesn't probably want to get back with Corey Hardrick and get remarried is because she's probably financially getting so much money off of this chaos that it relates to so many women who have been, become single moms or lose their husband or something like that. This is applicable, right? So when Tracee Ellis Ross is out here talking about, I'm 50 something years old, I never gotten married, I don't feel like this should, really fit me. And then for the other women out there that fit into this narrative, then, oh, okay, well, this is okay for me. Here's the reality though. It doesn't really matter to guys who really are going to be on point. Here's the reality for women out there that are what a man wants and wants to be with. You're going to get the guys providing for you, okay? That's the end of the story. If you are what a man wants, and if you are what a man needs, and if you're a valuable lady, it doesn't matter how many men in their prime are not working anymore, because you would not care about that. It wouldn't matter. Like for me, I'm from the Black community like most of you. And you got your single mothers out there, and you got your twerkers out there, you got the chicks out there that you would say are doing the excessive booty clapping and all of that, and with the tattoos and extraordinary weaves and all of this. You want to know what? For me, I don't care. It doesn't matter. All right. It doesn't matter at all. I don't care because it's not my life. It's not my experience. I've worked so hard in my life. I don't even encounter anything like that. I don't even know what that's like anymore. Okay. Shout out to Erica Williams. You guys may know her here on YouTube. Beautiful lady. I love working with her, and she's from North Carolina. And we were talking about some of the issues in the Black community when it came to men and women. She was confused. She was like, really? I never grew up like that. My family is not like that. So this is new to me. I've never experienced it. And that is some people's experience in Black America. Not everybody has an experience of struggling or just getting by. Like Pocket Watching with JT, his father was in his life, was a great entrepreneur. And some of you guys have those same stories too. A lot of people don't have that, but some of you guys do. And the same thing is with this. If you are a woman and you are doing what you're supposed to do and you're competitive, you'll never have to worry about meeting all the toxic people because you're going to meet the right person. Okay. If you're a woman and you're really a lady that a guy is really glad to be around and you add value, you'll never make a video talking about, well, why are you guys not working? Why are you guys not being leaders? You won't have to worry about that. You may struggle here and there, but ultimately the person that you want to get with is going to find you. And just like most rich, successful men, they don't have a problem finding a woman to get onto their program, okay? Because the women are on their program are also come with their own program, which is easy to get along with and easy to deal with and all of that. And that's the case with most successful men who are Tracee Ellis Ross's age or older. Nobody is even considering her or worrying about her issues. And even the women who follow her, or even women like Tia Mowry. This is why Tia Mowry is still struggling trying to find a date now, because when you're successful and you got your stuff in order, male or female, female, you're not worried about that. It's not your experience. It's only your experience when you're bitter, when you have nothing to offer anybody, when you're entitled, when you think about yourself. And if you listen to Tracee Ellis Ross, it's always about how she feels. Well, you know what? I feel like I offer this and I feel like I offer that. And the reality is we live in a world where it matters how somebody else feels about us. We're not the only one in the world. We don't make the rules. Certainly we can make our own decisions, but our value is not just us alone. It's good to have self-worth. It's good to have self-value and believe in yourself. But there's also something that needs to be said about what somebody else thinks about you, especially people that have some level of power over you in an industry or somebody who wants to deal with you long term. If you don't have those things, it really just doesn't matter at a point, and which makes you some kind of isolated stone over there that nobody really wants to deal with as you get older and older and older. You just keep attracting these bitter conversations amongst yourself that nobody really gives a shit about. That's kind of really what happens. And in order for you not to be like the Tia Mowry's of the world or Tracee Ellis Ross's of the world or whoever else, you just need to be valuable and worry about what you're doing every day to make sure that somebody cares about what you want to do in your life and somebody wants to be a part of what you got going on. If you focus on that, then you wouldn't be Tracee Ellis Ross, right? It would be no need to have these bitter conversations about why are you lonely and why you never got anybody and why nobody wants you, because you are entitled and you have a pretty much a negative attitude towards the world and nobody wants to put up with your mess. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Shady Jackson back at it again with another episode of Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. We're out.